So Jordan was still reeling from. She had to take painkillers. She took weeks through the castle, so she's in a lot of pain. And she took the painkillers last night, and just let me drive all around in construction for us to have breakfast. But what was fortunate is that we were getting a gift for a new baby, and there was a store very close by to where we finally ended up. And while uh, about to enter this baby store, um, two boom, boom, sonic boom fighter jets, definitely bigger than the Marine ones, so Air Force, scared the shop owner to death. This happened to me so many times. I never seen that. And I just gave explanation. Well, they used to buzz Delgado all the time, and they did. If the answer was one would come over. If the answer was two would come over. If the answer was three would come over. So yeah, I thought somebody was going to help me, but I was wrong. I was wrong. Um, and uh, he turned into a zombie, and his arms fell off. While the Rosie was going on from Indiana, I was dreaming with the precious baby, trying to just be a friend of somebody because I don't have any friends. No friends. I have deep respect for this person. So, yeah, this is somebody I'd like to become friends with. Uh, I deeply respect what he does. And, there's been nobody that has crossed my path, not one, that I respect. Even the ones I obsessed over, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. But anyways, I'm trying in my dream to be friendly, uh, perhaps with some intentions down the road. But no, no, you're going to ruin my ministry by being your friend. Okay, all right. It's wild because the prayers are going on while I'm sleeping and in REM. So I'm thinking, okay, that's God. But then, I'm sorry, why do you have to turn into a zombie and his arms fall off? That was a little over the top, Holy Spirit. Like, and then when I walked in today, Jordan didn't say hello, Lukey. She looked directly at me and said hello, Toki. And again, she slept several hours, and the baby did too. It's a sleeping day for the baby, thank God. But back to Joan. And I'll just repeat because all the internet went off while I was reading Joan. Hang in there, Joan. You see, we're sure that the waiting game is the best. Whereas you would carry everything by storm, Joan. And is it going to go up again? It's frozen. Yeah, I see my. Thank you for stopping at my lovely line. This these lines. Yeah, trying to crash again. Just because Mark Twain wrote 2 centuries ago about who lived 5 or 6 centuries ago and is a saint, and I'm going to use the word that she uses, that Mark Twain said she used. You see, we're sure that the waiting game is the best, whereas you would carry everything by storm. That I would. And moreover, that I will. You have my orders here and now. We will move upon the we will move upon the forts of the South Bank tomorrow at dawn. and carry everything by storm, and carry everything by storm. Lahire came clanking in and heard the last remark. He cried out, by my baton, that is the music I love to hear. Yes, that is the right time. That is the right time. And the beautiful words, my general, we will carry them by storm. He saluted in his large way and came up and shook Joan by the hand. Some members of the council were heard to say, it follows then that we must begin with the Bastille St. John, and that will give us the English time to. Joan turned and said, give yourselves no uneasiness about the Bastille St. John. The English will know to retire from it and fall back on the bridge Bastilles when they see us coming. She added with a touch of sarcasm, even a war council would know enough to do that itself. Then she took her leave. Lahire made this general remark to the council. She is a child, and that is all you seem to see. Keep to the superstition if you must, but you perceive this child understands this complex game of war as well as any of you. And if you want my opinion without the trouble of asking for it, here you have it without ruffles or embroidery. By God, I think she can teach the best of you how to play it. Joan had spoken truly. The sagacious English saw that the policy of the French had undergone a revolution, that the policy of paltering and dawdling was ended, and that in place of taking blows, blows were to be struck. Now, therefore, they made ready for the new state of things by transferring heavy reinforcements to the bastilles of the south bank from those of the north. Let me do it this way. Okay. Oh. The city learned that the great news that once more the French history, after all these humiliating years, France was going to take the offensive, that France, so tired to retreating, was going to advance, that France, so long accustomed to skulking, was going to face about and strike. The joy of the people passed all bounds. The city walls were black with them to see the army march out in the morning in that strange new position, in front, not its tail, toward the English camp. You shall imagine for yourself what the excitement was like and how it expressed itself when Joan rode out at the head of the host with her banner floating above her. We crossed the river in strong force, and a tedious long job it was, for the boats were small and not numerous. Our landing on the island of St. Agnan was not disputed. We threw a bridge of a few boats across the narrow channel, thence to the south shore, and took up our march in good order and unmolested. For although there was a fortress there, St. John, the English vacated and destroyed it, and fell back on the bridge forts below as soon as our first boats were seen to leave the Orleans shore, which was what Joan had said would happen when the war disputing with the council, when she was disputing with the council, we moved down the shore, and Joan planted her standards before. Oh, that's interesting. We were on Shore Street today. We moved down the shore, and Joan planted her standard before the Bastille of the Augustins, the first of the formidable works that protected the end of the bridge. The trumpets sounded the assault, and 2 charges followed in handsome style. But we were too weak as yet, for our main body was still lagging behind. Before we could gather for a third assault, the garrison of St. Denis was seen coming up to reinforce the big Bastille. They came on a run, and the Augustins sallied out, and both forces came against us with a rush, and sent our small army flying in a panic, and followed us, slashing and slaying, and shouting jeers and insults at us. Joan was doing her best to rally the men, but their wits were gone. Their hearts were dominated for the moment by the old-time dread of the English. Joan's temper flamed up, and she halted and commanded the trumpets to sound the advance. Then she wheeled about and cried out, If there is but a dozen of you that are not cowards, it is enough. Follow me. Away she went, and after her a few dozen who had heard her words and been inspired by them. The pursuing force was astonished to see her sweeping down upon them with their handful of men, and it was their turn now to experience a grisly fright. Surely this is a witch. This is a child of Satan. That was their thought, and without stopping to analyze the matters, they turned and fled in panic. Our flying squadrons heard the bugle and turned to look. And when they saw the maid's banner speeding in the other direction and the enemy scrambling ahead of us in disorder, their courage returned and they came scouring after us. Lahire heard it and hurried his forces forward and caught up with us just as he was planting our banner again before the ramparts of the Augustins. We were strong enough now. We had a long and tough piece of work before us, but we carried it through before night. Joan keeping us hard at it, and she and Lahire saying we were able to take that big Bastille and must. All right, in stream. That's funny.